Hi everyone, Wendy from Poppy Hill Designs here. Today I'd like to show you our newest collage sheet, and you can use these for cards, but we have designed them to make these do-it-yourself coasters. So what you get is a 8.5 by 11 PDF document. This is done as a download at time of purchase, and you'll get 4 unique images on each sheet. So here's the Kaleidoscope multi-coaster tiles. Now each of these images measures 3.8 inches and will fit onto a 4.25 inch tile. So there's the Kaleidoscope multi, there's the stained glass, which is beautiful, and we have the rose tiles. Now this is the same image but done in 4 different colorways. So let me show you what you will need for this project. Obviously you'll need one of these downloads. You'll need a plain white ceramic tile, and I got this one at Home Depot. It measures 4.25 inches square and it's just a plain glazed tile and cost me a whopping 15 cents. So you can see that it's very economical. So the first thing we'll do is cut out an image that we'll be using for the coaster. So I'm going to do the rose, one of the Kaleidoscope roses. And so I've had this printed at my local copy shop and had them printed on cardstock. I think that just holds up a little better through the decoupage process. So the first thing we're going to do is adhere this image to the tile. I'll be using Mod Podge, and this is a gloss luster. It doesn't have to be gloss, but that's just what I had on hand. And it's a bit of a 2-part process. First thing I'm going to do is apply a coat to the back of the image and then lay that on the tile, and then I'll let that dry. So let me show you how we do that. And the trick is not to put a real heavy coat on the back, because the last thing you want to do is saturate the paper so much that it starts to separate. So just work quickly, because this stuff does dry fast. And then we'll get that onto the tile. Now you've got a little bit of wiggle room here. So we'll get that pressed on here. And then I just use a cloth, you can use a paper towel, and just gently from the center, just smooth that down, getting any excess glue off the project and any air bubbles that may have gotten underneath. Okay. So now that that's done, you can see it looks beautiful on the tile already. I'm going to set that aside and let it dry before I add the other coats on there. So I'll put this one aside, and I'm going to rinse out my brush because I do like this brush and I don't want it to be all hardened up with glue. Put my Mod Podge back on. So I've applied the 3 additional coats of Mod Podge to the tile and they've thoroughly dried. So now it's time to put the coating on here to seal the tile. So let me take a moment to talk about some of the different coatings that are available. When I first looked into this, it was recommended to use a clear acrylic. So I bought this one by Mod Podge and I applied it 3 even coats, just letting it dry in between. It gave me a nice shine and sealed the tile. When I put cold drinks on there, I didn't have any issues whatsoever. It performed just the way I thought it would. And then when I put a hot cup of tea on there, I noticed that the coating started to melt and the cup started to adhere to the coaster. So obviously that's not going to work. So I went back down to the hardware store and they recommended this product by Minwax, and it's a fast drying polyurethane. It is oil based. There's a water based one out there, but choose the oil based one. The drawbacks to this are you have to use it in a well ventilated area, wear gloves because you don't want it to touch your skin, and if you brush it on, you'll need a solvent to clean your brush. But I tried this and I like this one the best. This performs well with hot drinks and cold drinks. I wouldn't use it as a trivet, but anything just like, a cup of coffee or tea, something like that, I didn't have any issues with. So let me show you the method I use to apply this polyurethane to the tile. Okay, so to apply the polyurethane, I just use a very simple setup. I've got just a plain paper disposable plate and a plastic cup. And I'll place the tile right on top here. And then, because I don't want to clean brushes and everything afterward, I'm going to spoon this on and then just level it out with a skewer. So I'll open the product, and again, do this in your garage or outside in a well-ventilated area. I will definitely move this tile out when it's complete here. And the solution itself is very thin. It's like a thin syrup. So what I do is I just take maybe about half a teaspoon here, and I apply it right in the center. And just use the spoon to move it around and make sure you get it out to all the corners. You want to seal it to the edge of the tile. Just take a few minutes or a moment to do this. You definitely want to get a nice even coating on here. So it looks like I have enough product on there, and I'll just use this wooden skewer just to get some of the fine details here. You may need to get down to eye level to make sure that you've got a nice even coating on this. Now if you did put too much on there, make sure you have your gloves on. You can pour off the excess, and then if there is any that drips off the edge, it'll fall onto the plate. So it looks like I've got that in there. If you see any bubbles, just give them a little squash, a little squish there with the skewer. And that looks pretty good. And let this dry overnight. And then if it looks like it needs another coat, go ahead and apply another coat. But that's how I do it. I just set myself up assembly style in the garage, and that way I can do 4 at a time, 8 at a time, however many coasters that I'm making. So this is a great way to seal the tile if you're planning on putting hot beverages on the coaster. Another great use for these is just to use, if you have a small flower vase, that would be great. A little cup with your makeup brushes, that would be another great use for them. So it's not just coasters, you can use them in many other ways. So that's how I seal the tile, and let me show you what some of the finished dried product looks like. So once your tile is thoroughly dried, you can see these are completely finished and they've got a nice shiny top on there. You're going to want to put something on the back of it to protect your furniture. So you could buy those circles of cork and put one on each corner. In this instance, I just had a sheet of cork and I cut it down to 4 inches, and that seemed to fit the back of the tile just perfectly. So here's a quick look at the finished stained glass ones. So you can see those are very pretty. And then let me show you the multi. I haven't put the backing on these yet, but there's the 4 of the multi. Another nice tip you can do, if you choose, if you want to decorate the edge, just get some paint. Make sure that it's a paint that can go outside, or at least is, waterproof or resistant. So that's a nice little touch you could do for that. And then here are the roses. Now I've got the one that I just put the coating on, so that's in the corner there. But these look beautiful. Great as a coaster. Again, great as a little vase stand, if you have a little vase of flowers, or to take into the office. So I hope you like this project, and again, visit our website to see some of the other designs that we have. And thank you for watching.